Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. This show is presented by TopSport and brought to you by Punting Form. I'm your host Nico for today. Scoot's out, he's on holiday. Usual crew assembled. DK.
Is he?
What's a holiday? We're locked down here.
Oh, mate. Yes, lucky bloke get away holidays this time of year. Not even school holidays. He's got the kids and everything, so I don't know what's going on there. But
might be a freshen up over the weekend by the sounds of it.
Yeah, could be. No, Nico, here we are. Yeah, about to hit winter, but weather's been good down. We've been unseasonably mild. It's been very pleasant actually.
This morning was maybe a turn.
A bit of
pouring rain and freezing when I left.
Yeah, but no, we're poly synthetics are up and going, so it's going to be that time of the year. But Swan Hill's coming up when next 2 weeks' time or something, 10 days.
Yeah, it's all happening.
So looking forward to that.
Swan Hill into Ascot, I think.
Royal Ascot.
That's coming up as well.
I see those horses are trialling before they jump on the plane, I think Friday morning, aren't they?
Yeah, Home Affairs and Nature Strip, I think, trialling maybe Friday.
Tourists as well, I think.
And Artoris, so they're all heading over. I think Home Affairs maybe in the Diamond Jubilee, Nature Strip in the Kingston. I don't know where Artoris is running, but something to look forward to over the next few days. Johnny Walters up in Sydney. He's going to join us as well.
Sydney? He's moved.
Well, he's up in the Gold Coast. He's a Sydney man. He's up there in the Gold Coast.
No.
Close enough.
Don't
What
mention...
about Nico re-interrupting DK then when he was on positive spin, happy weather, everything's fine?
Yeah.
He's like, well, not. You got to let him run. When he's positive, you got to let him run.
You don't know that the hour I had at home just pumping myself, so get in there, be positive, just please, no downers, come stay up, even though I can't get back a win 150 to 1 chances, even beat me on Sunday. 150s. 150s. 350 into evens, and then there goes 150s. Can't get past it. Anyway, there you go. Waltz. As soon as Waltz beats, I turn into the old DK. Anyway.
I think I could just sit here and you boys could take over the show from here.
Mate, I'm positive about one thing. We were left out of the Hamilton Island trip. I didn't even know about it until last night. I don't know if anyone else did. He's just snuck away very quietly.
Has he gone on Tristan's boat or something? Has he? They caught the boat out or something on Tim, maybe. That might be what it is.
There's a rumour we should start. I think that's where we'll start from there and we'll amp it up.
How about you, Nico? Did you do sale yesterday?
Sale was...
leaderish, was it? Leaderish.
Very leaderish yesterday at sale. Backed a few winners. I already tilted Walt early, so I'm going well. I've got you both offside.
A bit early. Yeah, that's your go.
Backed winning Revolution. Apparently, Walt had the other one going for a stack, so sorry there, Walt. But
that was race one,
Race one, and then back Paddy Payne's horse that won later in the day, and also back...
that Bong Bold Hoy Hoy, or whatever it was.
Bold Hoy Hoy.
Well, there was a blanket finish. You got
that was a good win.
The target there. It went good at Bendigo when it won that maiden.
I'd probably be forgiving anything at sale that was probably off the fence. It seemed like a day you just want to be up there and
on the rail,
sort of on the rail or leading. But,
can be like that, cutting the corner and that at times, even though you think it's a big flat deck and they can run on.
Yeah, that's usually the angle with sale, isn't it? You think, a big flat track, that you're going to find some back markers, but out of the chute, it's like impossible to make ground.
Yeah.
And then even in the staying races, when they were going quick out front, like they were just impossible to
Couldn't
catch.
Even reel them in. Yeah.
I'd be forgiving of a few horses back in the field. Looking forward to this weekend, though. We got a massive Super Saturday at Eagle Farm with, I think, 3 Group 1s. So that looks like it's going to be an absolute ripper. Tommy Henjak's going to join us later in the show.
They have a dry track up there, are they?
Not sure.
It's going to be 25 degrees or something.
Walt's our man for that.
Anyway, we'll get round to it.
It's been hosing up until yesterday. I don't know what the forecast is, but and that track does only probably need a couple of days, but I'd be very surprised if it was dry. Like, it's just insane how much rain we've had up here.
It's been a who's who of racing up there in the Gold Coast the last week with the Magic Million sales, away game, 4 million.
Old Mr. Zhang just throwing it around like confetti. You're like, Mr. Zhang, how many did he buy? 4 million for knackers and 3 million for crackers, and anyway, it'd be good owning a mare.
Ruby Saki, $1 million. Ruby Saki, $1 million. Like, if anyone can't see there's a massive issue at this side of the industry, holy heck, $1 million.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's going gangbusters, the breeding caper. But anyway.
I heard Mr. Zhang's really going to get involved in the brood mares over the next few years and
that's
really get involved in the breeding industry.
Yeah, well, obviously, they made a point there, haven't they? Obviously, he's got his team here, and who's in that? There's Luke Wilkinson and a few in that.
I think so, yeah.
And, if they make a decision, say, he's obviously going back, he's backing them in to do it. And if they've got to pay overs. So. Or perceived overs anyway.
We were going to talk about South Australia last week with the Goodwood, but I've talked to you before the show.
Oh, well, ask me. What do you think of the Goodwood win, DK? I'd said who won it. I didn't honestly see it.
You didn't miss much. Lombardo went straight to the front, and that was about it.
It's like Snapdance a couple of weeks ago. There's gone mad leaders over there, the 1200 or something. Anyway, I know Mick Price was dominating over there, and he's one guy. Like I'm normally I have the whole thing on mute most of the time, just don't listen to the trainers. He's one bloke I take it off mute and listen to. He's fantastic to listen to, Mick Price.
Even with his sort of opinions early in prep with I'm Thunderstruck, sort of going to the All-Star Mile, said he was underdone, and he was until sort of grand final day there.
Yeah, and what's that thing? When Ayrton won first up, and he sort of said, I don't know.
Yeah.
You might get away with it, but it's 6-4, and it's not fully wound up, and it got the box seat, got the beautiful run through, and didn't win impressively, it won. But everyone said, he's telling bubbers. He wasn't telling bubbers. He's telling the truth, So, no, love him, Price.
Did you manage to tune into any South Australian racing on the weekend, Walt?
I did, just to confirm that it was the worst Goodwood I've ever seen, and just looking at it didn't even go quick. He's just and then he's come home slow, and he's led all the way. What a low.
All playing jockeys behind it, really. They're all just playing jockeys, jockeying for positions, and the leader gets away.
Yeah, Behemoth didn't have a lot of luck. Same with the Inferno, sort of had to edge off heels at stages in the race, and he was just off and gone.
Things in the market get 20 links. Some of them failed terribly. I mean, the Stallion thing.
Extreme.
I read about it. Yeah, it's off.
Straight to start off at 11.25 length defeat in the worst Group 1 in history.
Anyway.
Hashtag breeding.
There we go.
A race we did all tune into, which I think we have to mention, was Sunday, Britannicus.
The mighty Britannicus. That was good. That was a good barrier trial.
Yep.
Beautiful. I tell you what, that's a good spectacle, those jumps at Sandown. I don't know, they've changed the camera angles or something, haven't they? Put some new cameras in and microphones and showed the undulations of the course and everything. It looked terrific.
It's always been a good jumps track, especially when they go up the back there. Sort of right near the car race track is where they sort of end up out the back. And even watching Saunter Boy, that was a big win. I know Walt definitely tuned into Britannicus' win, but where do the jumps go if they sell Sandown?
Just on the boys owning Britannicus, what a great horse to own. Like, seriously, a front-running jumper like him who's a trier. I mean, and they just get better as they get more seasoned. They're going to have so much fun with him over the next, who knows how long, couple of years at least anyway, He's going to be turning up at the bull for them. They all go get down there, get drunk and cheer him on, and then he can go into all these big races and the prize money and everything. So what a great horse to own for the boys, for Scoot and BZ and Larry and all that. So, but in answer to your question, I just see this morning, they're going to build a new track out of the airport or something, They've got a heap of land there. They're going to build, that's going to be the big new northern training establishment.
First I've heard of it.
But anyway, that they should be racing at Casterton, absolutely more at Casterton.
Yep.
They're making it a spectacle and want people to say Casterton. I say they've got jumps at Hamilton on Tuesday. Coleraine, they've got jumps. So it's a bit more. They could make it a bit more Western District focused and have the real zone over there. But Pakenham, thanks. No, it's not.
It's no good for jumps.
No good for jumps. No. And Yarra Valley's a bit. Oh no, Yarra Valley. It's like a greyhound track. I don't know how they get jumps around there.
No, I don't think there's jumps around. I think it's just. I think Sale might be back on the jumps sort of program. They had maybe a few years ago, and then I think Pakenham. But yeah, it's going to be Western District focused. You'd think over the next few years.
But geez, I'll tell you what, it's at a. I mean, good on them. They're on their knees. It's at a dead set renaissance to the sport, and all the people, Sandy McGregor, Mike Simons, all the participants, and the boys like BZ and Scoot and all getting involved and buying a jumper. It has had an absolute renaissance, the jumps. It's fine.
Today's show, as we said, Tommy Turbo is going to join us from MacBet. He's going to join us to preview Eagle Farm. Mug's back. He's had the little the sickness.
So what did I miss last week? What happened with Delasan or something? Some bloody thing there. Scoot sauce. Was he going tipping Delasan with Scoot sauce or something? Was it they have a side bet or something? What did they do?
Scooty's moral, and he went no good. I think he ran fifth, just plodded away.
I was listening to Leon in the way, and he got badly galloped on that horse.
Oh, okay.
So he said it didn't get through to the tendon, which was the upside, but he's in the paddock. And he's going to give him a break and hopefully be back for the spring. But there was an excuse there.
Walt's going to have a look at Randwick for us, and I think even the Mug's chiming in there. Are you going head-to-head this week, Walt? Have you managed to find the same race with the Mug?
Mate, I went through the meeting, to be fair, and thought Andermatt stood out like absolute dog's balls as a Mug moral, so I sort of tried to steer away from it, and I do note that it's not in his top three for the week. So he's going wide of the Mug. Good on him. And I think we're sort of half overlapping each other, but not going head-to-head. And
I'll be having a look at Caulfield. But before we get into that, make sure to check out Manscaped, punters. 20% off using the Little Birdie code there at the Manscaped store. DK and Walt have been tipping it strong for a few weeks now. So if you're not on board the Manscaped, you're missing out there. So 20% off using code Little Birdie. Let's rip into the show. Straight into Caulfield here, punters. I will say, off the top, there would be a bit of caution with this meeting at Caulfield. Rail goes out 11 metres.
The old real double-figure rail at Caulfield, yeah.
Could be tough times if you get back in the field.
Yeah, they're about 14s as wide as they go for a midweek, one of those meetings. So 11's pretty wide for a Saturday.
There's a lot of like data on rail 12. There's not actually that much data on rail 11, so that'll be sort of interesting to see how it plays. I've sort of defaulted to 2 horses I think might sort of settle up on speed, and the first of them's in race number 1, the Club Tech Golf 1,000 metre.
We've got a market here. I can do the market for you here, Nico. We've got what do you got? 1,000 metre race, my favourite 1,000 metre races. Don't we love them? Anyway, you 2-year-olds, distance races, you're very versatile, Nico. What have we got? Dexalation 6. Oh, we'll start at the favourite. What's the favourite? Starry Legend 260. We've got Ashford Street, the good horse from down at Warrnambool Way 370. Dexalation 650. What else is there? Zorro's Dream.
Zorro's
That's Mitchy Friedman's run-on horse 550. Young Lame Speedster $10. Tycoon Hummer and William Thomas rounded out. Where are you steering, buddy?
Look, I think with rail out 11, we're just going to want a horse that's going to default to on speed, and that's going to be Starry Legend. This was him leading last start. This is over 1,100 metres. So he comes back to the 1,000 here. He bolted in 2 starts to go over the 1,000 at Sandown. And I think they've just found out the key to this horse, this prep. They just let him run. They let him run at Sandown. He absolutely killed him. They let him run here. And like if this was a 1,000 metre race, which it would be to about 100 metre
Wherever
mark,
the red is, the
which
red
is
mark.
about it,
Yeah,
bang, he wins. 1,100, I just don't think he saw it out. There's Zorro's Dream, key rival in the market, flashing home at him late. You'd think he's going to give him way too big a head start over 1,000 metres. So McNeil's absolutely flying. He's back in some form.
He's winning the Premier. He's going to win the Premiership.
Exactly.
I just had a look at that this morning. He's so Jay Carr's behind him, but he's well in front, and he's riding. He's going to the Poly Friday. I think he's riding for Hawks. He's riding plenty, so he's going good. Sads, listen to Sads last night. Same thing. Yep. Didn't see that. It's a 1,000 metre horse.
Tick of approval?
Huh?
You got the tick of approval?
Got the tick of approval. Very hard to beat. Let fast horses be fast. It's going to run. But I don't reckon I watched the replay of Sandown. They didn't let it run that. He sort of got it to travel kindly at Sandown.
I think he's just like, I don't think he needs to go quick. He just has to get his own way.
Get in a rhythm. But young Liam will sort of press him a bit, but he's Jack. I think Sad said he wants to lead. So
they've been adamant this prep that they want to lead on him. So they've done that the last 2, and he's run really well. So I think starting out the day, it's going to probably where you want to be on speed with the rail out. It's going to be hard to make ground. He looks a pretty easy start to
start the day. You've got a good record, sort of bouncing the ball at the first good thing of the day from what I can remember, Nico. So that's how the punters want to start.
All right, the third event on the day is where we're going to go to next.
What
race number 3, the
Lamaros. Lamaros. Well, I played up there after the bulldozer. There's a good joint. Lamaro pulled him a Tina down there in Cecil Street, up the road from the ballet. We've got a mile race. That's more up my alley. Know a few of these horses.
You know a few of these. Naval Seal.
Oh, there's one of my very favourite horses in this. Number 2, play 0. Where do we start?
Naval Seal, 460.
Well, Naval Seal, 460, won the maiden at Piston at Ballarat. Oceana Blue won huge maiden on debut. It's equal 460. It's second up, I'll say there. What else we got? So we've got Oriental Legend, another one of Legend horses of Sads. Hop on Harry, the horse. That was Liam McDonald was speaking about that on the way in, $5. Chartreuse is a nice horse, $9. Play Zero is a nice horse, $9.50. Your horse, General Firepower, was a sick beat the other day, $9. Deprivation, $19. And Koyuka Shannon Chief for moment rounded out at $26. Where are you going, Nico? You're sticking fat, I'm tipping.
Yeah, I'm sticking fat. General Firepower. We've been on him his last 2, and
sick beat here, buddy.
This is a bit of a sick beat. We're going to have to look away late, but I think if he
and flash feeling too of all horses.
Sads, our man, run us down. But I think if he rides a similar race to what he did on this occasion on Saturday, I think he could give this race a real shake. This was his chance to win. He's in front nearly the whole straight. Flash Feeling launches at him late. That horse ran well again. Had this race on the back up last week.
Line chase at Flash Feeling, isn't it?
Just gets us right there in the last stride. But you'd say, this horse is absolutely flying his last 2. And now he comes to this race, with a potential map advantage again. I'm pretty sure Jordan Childs goes aboard, who's a very good sort of rider of these horses that get out on front.
He is.
They're going to employ similar tactics. You think that's a positive?
Good rates and well in front. Back to the mile. Comes back that little bit.
Mickey D goes aboard.
MD. MD. He's.
There's not the massive tick there like you get with Childs, but he's in some form. MD. He rode. I think
I want him today. So hopefully he can kick off all right today.
I just thought this horse was a big price at $9. Like you get it in $280 the place.
Seems few nice horses in that race, though, but you've got those very lightly race things. They're coming out, it's third start in a race, Oceana Blue and Navy Seal. Geez, its last 200 metres the other day. Whether it can do that again.
Well, there was just knocks with those few. I thought Naval Seal, he's only had starts on wet tracks. Walt might be sort of across sort of his form in Sydney more than us, but he didn't
have much. And he was soft in the market the other day.
And then he bolted in
that shorty, whatever it was, Jennifer something or whatever the thing, Jennifer
didn't handle the track
or whatever it was. So, but geez, it let go the last 200. I know that.
And then Oceania Blues 1,800 back to 1,600, probably going to get back on a rail position.
That's weird. That's weird placement. That means it's that's not ideal placement.
No,
that wouldn't have been in the calendar. That got to give it a run to get it back up to 2,000 something for a race in 2 weeks' time.
Well, I would assume she's going to Queensland. So
there you go.
Yeah, I think she might just be looking for one more one. Hop on Harry Steep into the prep. Sort of brings in the elation, sort of South Australian form, but I'm not sure that form's that strong behind elation.
It wasn't a big rep. Already said he's a nice off-season horse, but he'd have to improve to go up another level. Leon was saying this morning, just a nice horse, but no star.
And there's a few here that can run well, like Blaze Zero ran well first up. But how far back is he going to get? Oriental Legend, Char Trade, they're all in the game. I thought General Piepower, if he rides him like he did last start, he just puts him into the race. He's lead or box seat thereabouts, and he's probably going to have his chance. I thought probably 1 by 3 might be the way I back him, more the place and sort of the win there, but I thought he's definitely going to give us a run for our money again, and I thought $9 was just over the odds.
You probably have some idea what race is that race. Was that the race 3 or later
race
on?
3,
you have a little idea of the pattern, I suppose. See how the leaders are kicking on. Because he'll be up there.
Any thoughts there, Walt?
No, it's just that stable's just difficult. Talking about Naval Steel, like he's come off a heavy and then a heavy 12 where he's got gassed and then come out, scratch 4 times, 32 days between runs, put 6 on him and improves 8 lengths. So, but that's a bit how it is at the moment. It's not, probably wasn't an 8 that day at Ballarat, was it? It was a bit
well,
but,
it's like, I think, you're right. It's messing with my head, these track speeds and track ratings a bit. I heard George Osborne say, the horse failed on that day because it was too heavy, and then the track speed comes through and it sort of looks in the times and it looks drier than what the actual rating is, So anyway, but so no. I know it's another variable we just got to handle, I suppose.
Well, we had one yesterday we were talking about at Sale, one of the Waller favourites that had a massive sort of rating off its debut run.
That's a first use of a wet track rating, and it was one of the very early on at Mark Reed's. I got told the red flags go up when you see that, and that's when you do. That's what ratings is. You speak to blokes who are hard on ratings and rating races, so you take that into consideration, but you also take the ability of the horses where they've run. So I pulled that race back, I pulled it back maybe 4 lengths or 5 lengths, and it wasn't enough. Even after that CL Sapon yesterday, I pulled it back went back last night and pulled it back another length or something.
Yep.
Because it was all these horses just had massive peaks and everything. You're trying to fit it, and you couldn't have it going too slow because the actual times if you severely pot it, that might bite you in the arse as well. But what's happened is the corporates databases have that as a fast time race. So there was a chance there yesterday because it went up 6-4. It was never ever going to be a 6-4 chance.
Yeah,
and it's $2.50 to $5, wasn't it? So that's when you could sort of get an edge,
And you threw in the Quang Tree down the bottom of the weights, the 2-year-old versus the older horses. The market's all over them late at the moment.
Lamming finally landed a fellow with his first, a camp known for not pulling a trick, but can get one to go.
They have a bet.
Yeah, they bet. It's a betting joint, and that thing was backed and. Yeah, and it was helped by the pattern, I suppose. But anyway, back to where we were. Where was that? Caulfield.
That wraps us up for Caulfield. If you want to check out Punting Form Punters, sponsor here on the show, that's what me and DK were talking about, the class benchmarks there. They come in very handy sometimes. Big thing I've been looking at recently is sort of the class benchmarks relative to last 200 and those kind of things. You compare that all throughout the meeting, sectional times ranked throughout the meeting. So if you want to get into your sectional times, it's definitely the place to go, puntingform.com.au. Quick break. On the other side, we'll be with Tommy Turbo from MacBet to discuss all things Eagle Farm. Welcome back, punters. Here we are. Tommy Turbo's joined us. We've got Eagle Farm, 3 Group 1s or 4 Group 1s this Saturday. It's going to be a massive day of racing, of course.
They've called it Super Saturday, though.
They have labelled it Super Saturday, by the sounds of it.
That's a bit rich, isn't it? There is Super Saturday Derby Day down here with about 6 Group 1s and every good horse in the country races down here. And I had to flick through the fields up there. I knew about 8 horses. Anyway, away you go, Turbo.
No maidens for DK.
The only Super Saturday in Melbourne's when you're getting a plane out of the joint.
Please.
Drive by.
Can I ask Tommy a question before it? Obviously, that shirt's not his. It doesn't fit him. Is there some chance that he's into big girls and he stayed over at one's place last night and he's just slotted into her shirt and got the show done?
It's been a long time between drinks, mate. I'll tell you that much. So definitely wasn't.
More cushion for the pushing.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
You'd think a racing show out of any, you wouldn't cop any any flack for what you're wearing, but here we are.
What do you make of Saturday Turbo? How do we think this track's going to play? That's going to be, I think, a key talking point throughout the week with, of course, missing the meeting. What's the sort of early lead in there?
Well, it depends if there's rain on the day. If there's no rain on the day, then it'll be a good 4 or soft 5.
Have you looked at the forecast, Tommy? Too?
Yeah, I've looked at the forecast this time, and there's not much. So you'd think we're racing on a good track on Saturday.
That's what I'm led to believe. Walt can't understand that, but where Gold Coast is underwater, the track's been transferred to the Poly, but this beautiful new Eagle Farm track with the drainage and the nice couple of days means it's good soft 5 and improving.
Yeah, well, it only ended up getting to a soft 7 or heavy 8 by the end of it. I think it was 2 weeks ago on Doomben 10,000 day, and that was just because it was an absolute monsoonal on the day. And we've had good drying weather the last 2 days. So Doomben, if we were racing there, it'd probably be heavy 9, heavy 10. But the beauty of Eagle Farm is we're probably going to be racing on a good 4.
Amazing the drainage these days with these tracks, isn't it? Like Flemington and Eagle Farm, and that's unbelievable.
Yeah, they're probably two of the premier tracks that have been renovated recently, and I think it just shows, with the modern technology, those two tracks. Like, remember when Flemington, the whole joint was flooded one Melbourne Cup day, and it ended up being
2
a
hours
soft
later,
5.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
it is amazing. Doomben Cup Day, you got the Queensland Derby. I think they're running as well, so there's plenty of races to get through. First race we're going to look at, though, is race number 7 here, punters. This is the BRC Sprint. A couple of usual suspects here. Tuxu is our favourite, right down the bottom of the weights there for Pikey, $5.50. Soxagon, $7. Buffalo River, $8.50 with the TopSport market. Tycoonus, $10. Oscar Zulu, $11. Holyfield's been back, 26 into 14. I think he might be one of the TopSport early bets that they've taken. And then Emerald Kingdom also there at $15, the Archer winner of last start. Horse we're going to have a look at here, punters, is Tycoonus, Team Waller. Take it away, Turbo.
Yep, so Tycoonus is the one behind the leader in the red colours for Chatty Schofield and Chris Waller. This was a pretty ordinary run, I admit, but this kind of horse, it's screaming a Waller setup for mine. It resumed over 1,100 metres at Hawkesbury and got the job done over Malkovich, albeit on a wet track, which probably didn't suit the Bjorn Baker runner there. But I think he's been targeted at the Stradbroke all along, so I think I can half forgive this run at Scone. I think the first up run probably took a bit out of him. Third up, Waller, J-Mac goes on, and there looks a lot of speed in this race. Taxi will go forward with Pikey. Buffalo River will be up there. Go Spotting, the Kiwi horse, and Dawn Passage, they're all drawn wide, and I think they just have to go forward. And it's kind of looking for a midfield horse who'll be coming home strong late. I do concede Taxu's absolutely flying down there in the benchmark races down there in Sydney, but they have been on wet tracks. So some little concern there coming to Eagle Farm to take the $4.80 with Pikey on. And I know he's riding pretty good, but leaders probably isn't half his go, especially on a horse you probably want to be rolling pretty hard in front. He's kind of one to stack them up in front and kind of sprint home. That's his style. Can absolutely understand the money for Holyfield. I think it gets a 5 kilo weight swing on, I think it's Dawn Passage out of that Archer race. I was kind of happy to look over that form though. And yeah, just kind of happy to be with Tycoonus. He should lob midfield and be pretty strong late. I really liked his run. I think it was at the Gold Coast behind Isotope last earlier this year at the Gold Coast.
Yeah, he made a good point there with Taxu. He's most of his recent forms on wet tracks. Buffalo River's kind of the same. He's sort of best is when the tracks are real wet. He ran well there first up at Sandown, but you'd think the wet track racing's his going life. What about Alligator Blood? Right down the bottom there, Turbo. First start for Gaybot by the looks of things. Any chance? Any chance the good horse can get back to anywhere near his best? I haven't looked at any of his trials or jumping out.
They're good horse trainers. They ain't miracle workers, are they? Like, he's been just emptied out, hasn't he? Completely emptied out.
Yeah, I think he's been emptied out. He's had a very long career now. It seems like everything he's gone through, and he's got to do it with the top weight here. I know he's got Walt Smurf on, T Clark on, but he's got to do it from the outside gate as well. It's just a lot of things have to go his way. I know it's a pretty open race, but kind of won at $21, you're kind of happy to risk.
What about your little horse Blondo that you missed last time? You left me out of top. I forgot to tell me it was going to be winning at Gosford. It looks a bit of it like they're going to go hard. Taxu is a dead set flat track bully, like Howard's favourite. Who knows? Dead set missing a 0, and there's just so much speed and not much to run on. He just looks like he could just camp out and Larry Cassidy special weave through 20s and 20s.
Yep. absolutely not hopeless as well. It's just whether he can make one of those long sustained runs around the field. You kind of see all his wins, and his best runs have kind of been sucking up the inside. But yeah, he's definitely not hopeless at 20-1. And you're right, like just kind of happy to bet around Taxu and the other one Nico mentioned being Buffalo River. I think there's definitely different conditions on Saturday for those two runners.
All right, we'll move on. Race number 8 is the Queensland Derby here, punters. And Walt was talking before about potentially the worst Group 1 in Australia. I think we may have found it here. DK's not even going to know a horse on the page here.
I know Villadin. They won a Benalla Maiden or something. That's about it. 20-1 chance.
Dark Destroyer is our favourite at $4.20. Paternal, $6. Pinanello, they're $7.50. Kibosh, they're $9. Global Absurd, $14. Manazi, $15. Ting Tong, $15.
That's a great name, Ting Tong. Remember Ting Tong from the the British show? Ting Tong, Ting. Oh, yeah. Go on. Very funny.
I think you're only talking to Walt there. Me and Turbo would have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
Little Britain. Yeah, that was it. Ting Tong.
And then Southern Stock kind of rounds him out at $16 there. Turbo, I think a leg run was supposed to go to this race, but he's been not helped out there by some flight situations, so he's come out there. The lead up, obviously, is the race that Dark Destroyer and Paternal come through. Is it just a 2-horse race?
It looks it, but if you told me before a fortnight ago that Paternal would be starting $6 in the Derby, I'd said you're joking, especially when he walked into the yard. There's a funny-looking horse, and there wasn't much of him. So for him to put in the run that he did that day, it was quite spectacular, and Bowman goes on. But thank God John McLeod's doing this race because, yeah, there weren't many that I wanted to get involved in.
You got any thoughts here, Walt?
I actually liked a couple that it was good. One of my better efforts here. I didn't get a chance to have a look at Newcastle last week, and I found this Global Osbred and Anything Goes going up to whatever that rail, like it didn't run anyway up in Brisbane. They ended up at Newcastle and ran 1-2. It's not legless, this horse, Global Osbred. He just absolutely destroyed it 2 starts back. Otherwise it probably puts 4 in a row together, and it's free running up in trip, but probably a horse that is on the up where most of these are just not. And I do like the other horse, Anything Goes, at sort of 40s, just because it's a nice horse, but it has a horrible prep. He sort of had to stop-start, probably wanted to get to the AJC Derby, and he's ended up here. So I think Global Osbred can run a race because I'm like Turbo. That's Dark Destroyer was huge. I can't knock it at all. It has to be favourite. That run was, not the perfect Derby lead up, and I just couldn't find Paternal, with the searchlight. So I'm going looking around it.
Yeah, so Global Osbred, one of the Maurice breeds, same by is that Hitotsu's breed?
Yep, that's his.
So you'd think he'll relish getting out to 2,400 metres. You'd think.
He just looks strong. Like he's gone out 13 above there the other day. Didn't come home real quick. They still ran good time. Like he's just a horse that thrives on the pressure. And I think second prep, he's a horse that's still going forward, and at least you're getting odds about him. McAvoy's a bit like you were saying with Pike. He's not really known for leading. I think he's more of a stalker, but it's only one way this horse knows, and he should sort of be told to go a length quicker than a length slow.
Did you manage to snap up any of the 50s better early in the week, Walt? I know a few people were sort of looking to have a play there, and the price moved without him even on. So maybe that was you just sort of chiming in the futures.
Not me, mate. I struggle to remember what day it is, let alone looking at Saturday and knowing what race is coming up. So at present, I'm an absolute passenger when it comes to futures betting.
Someone out there's secured a good ticket. He's 50s into 14s, and market may sort of trend with him. Race number 9, this is one of the features on the day, the Kingsford-Smith Cup Group 1 event here. Market reads with TopSport. On Triviera is our favourite, $4.40. Palele $4.40 also, so they're sort of heading it off, and then out to double figures the rest. Isotope 12, Apache Chase 13, 11 13, Ellsberg 15 gets Nash. September Run also there at $15. Away game after being sold for $4 million. Going to go around again, $18, and then Brooklyn Hustle.
Brooklyn going to be money for Brooklyn Hustle again, is there? Every time.
She won a similar race sort of this time last year up there in Queensland. She's 18s, Private Eye 18s, and Rothfire also $18. So plenty happening there.
At least I know a few of these.
The horses in the middle. We're going to have a look at the replay of On Triviere last start. This is her out the back. Tiako Racing colours in the orange, and gave Palele a big head start this day, Turbo.
Yep. Try to keep this race nice and simple. The Doomben 10,000 is historically the best lead up for the Kingsford-Smith Tab Cup, whatever it's called. And I think Ontrivier was the run of the race here, spotting them a big head start and was really strong late. The market told us that she's a quality horse. It was very well backed at the death. The money for it was just relentless. And I know the gate's a little bit of an issue here, but I think there should be solid enough speed up front with Apache Chase, Ellsberg, Rothfire up there up front for Ontrivier to be able to get over the top of them. I was kind of interested to, I think the market might have a tiny look at kind of a horse like September Run here. It's kind of the only horse with any kind of weight for age Group 1 form, and she started favourite down there in the Sanction. I think her run was okay, wasn't outstanding. I know she slipped at the start, but if I had to choose one between Brooklyn Hustle and September Run kind of out that race, I'd be choosing September Run. But it looks a really, really good race. And I just think Ontrivier's just got a lot of quality, and it's probably the only one you could say is a definite Group 1 horse in the field.
I was just going to say, there was I'm just flicking through the run sheet before. I think he was on the right tram there, wasn't he? There might be a TopSport steamer later taking the big odds September Run, I think.
Run.
So yeah, we'll see that anyway in the next segment.
Where are we ranking this? The Archer Apache Chase comes through. He was all the rage sort of Queensland last year, heading towards the Stradbroke. And that is he in this race with a chance at 13s, or is that pen job form?
I was kind of happy to be against him. A little bit of pen job form. I just think stepping up to weight for age with 59 kilos against the quality of horses that he's got going here, it's just going to be a big ask kind of to take $13. Kind of looking at other horses at that price in the market, I'd rather be with 11-11 than Apache Chase, to be honest. He's a pretty underrated horse, 11-11. I know I was kind of looking through his form earlier this week. He's actually never really been up to weight for age or anything. He's been kind of cuddled by Hickman his entire career, kind of around that listed grade, but he gets the big weight drop here. He resumed at Scone with 61 kilos. I thought it was an okay run. And from gate 4, he'll just get the suck run for Bowman, and he got the job done against Apache Chase on Magic Millions Day early this year. And I think he gets conditions to suit on Saturday, but kind of happy to be with Ontrivier over the rest of the field.
Walt's boyfriend's back, Ellsberg. Any thoughts there, Walt?
It's actually the horse that I think's over the odds, just because it looks like it's just going to camp right behind, Rothfire or Apache Chase, whoever takes it up. He should just be right behind him. Perfect sort of setup for him. I think like 42 days back in trip. I think he's a good, fresh horse. I don't think he's a miler, and I think they tried to stretch him to a little bit further. At other times, they've wanted to get him out to 2,000. I think sort of 1,300 high pressure is really ideal for him. So I don't think you'll get better than $13 too. But Ontrivier dead set looked like it had a barrier trial the other day. And much as I hate back markers with an absolute passion, like a high pressure 1,300 wide draw, you'd nearly think it could sit 4 wide with cover and round them up.
Yeah. In a big field, I'm hoping just be in that running line and blending into the race at the right time. I was keen to get Walt's thoughts on another race here, actually. Have you had a look at the rest of the card?
I'll have a look. It doesn't take me long. Which race?
All right, let's go race 2.
2,400 Group 3. How about you get Nico's opinion on this one?
No, wrong one.
Steel Prince
Race 6. Race 6, the Fred Best Classic.
What do you want to know?
Who do you like?
Jesus Christ, I've just seen the field. I thought R&T was huge the other day. $26 is a big price. What are we looking at?
Best named horse in the country, R&T.
Robin Tug. Yeah, Robin Tug, get in
Robin
there.
Tug.
Startantes is just penned for life. If it ever beats me in a race ever again, I'm happy for it to beat me.
Yeah. What about number 3?
Yeah, well, they've set it for the race. He's a very, very good trainer. His horses are going well. Perfect draw, perfect jockey. Not much more you can really say. So I think it ticks all boxes. That form's held up, even though it was provincial championship form. Like horse like Ranch Hands come out of it and really frank the form. I'd take it very seriously in a race like this, where there's some pretty tired horses and horses not going that well. And I know that he's targeted this race.
Yeah, it's one that really piqued my interest. It's obviously proven against the older horses and coming back to his own age here. And it should be a pretty high pressure 1,400 metre race. I know we've said that a few times today, but on these big days, they go hard in front, especially with Prince of Boom. We know he's got the breeding issues, so they just got to let him run. And I think his looks very well placed in a race like this.
Yeah, it's hard to chime into leaders in 20 horse fields, isn't it? Especially on a big track like Eagle Farm. It's
Yeah.
The stalkers and the closers, even though they're dangerous, they're the ones you usually want to find on these days. You're happy to take them on inside draws at short odds.
Yep, 100%.
Any comment, Zaki there, Turbo, in the Doomben Cup 2100? Was there any improvement to come from the yard there last start? Looked like they may have backed off him a little.
Yeah, I think he was very fresh that day and he was a bit soft, so he was going to take good improvement. And kind of looking at him in the yard, you can definitely tell he's more suited on a dry track. Obviously, $1.40s, short odds. He does look. Obviously, I was sticking up for Polly Gray last week actually, but that was only because it was going to be on a bottomless track. It's going to be a very different scenario there on Saturday. Walt probably stick up for a horse here called Huetor. It looks very well placed there on Saturday now, getting back onto a dry track. And who was the other one I had a small interest in? I think Great House can run a race at 30s as well, but Zaki's obviously hard to beat, but might be playing Huetor and Great House in multiples.
I agree with that. The wet track certainly was in the favour of Polly Gray last week, and I was in its corner heavily there, especially if they were going to try and hold the front, or at least try and get Zaki stirred up early and not let it, have every possible chance to relax and just walk to the front. I'm assuming that's still going to happen, but I am probably switching to the wetter camp a little bit more because the dry track plays into its hands. And, I'd probably, where I was having a good crack at Polly Gray and saving on Huetor, I'd probably be backing Huetor not as confidently and having something on Polly Gray, because Zaki's certainly far more, suited on this sort of surface. And, he's obviously the one to beat, but it's a good horse. Huetor, it might be a run short, but we're getting sort of $13 or whatever it is.
All right, I think that rounds us out there, punters. Thanks, Turbo. Hopefully you can find the punters a few winners there this Saturday at Eagle Farm.
And you can get to the little, they've been going to the Aussie China kitchen there and back there where I found you there for Turbo, going right there.
Oh, down there. What was that? The Yumcha place where your kids were karate chopping me.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree or whatever it's called. Is that the saying?
Yeah, all right. See you, Turbo. Bye.
Say good day to Big Bertha or whatever her name is there, Turbo. Give her a shirt back.
Yeah, I'll give her a kiss for you.
Thanks.
Hopefully you can find a winner or two for the punters at home. Make sure you're betting with TopSport this weekend, punters. Bet with the bookmaker you trust and bet with TopSport. Quick break and we'll be back with Randwick after this. Welcome back to Bet Doctor. Time to have a look at Randwick. No messing about here, punters. We're going to go straight to the last race. I'm going to kick us off from the first at Caulfield, and Walt's going to try and get us the last there. So hopefully we got all angles covered here on the show. Race number 10, jumping at 425 over the 1100 metres. American President is our favourite here, $3.50. Queen Bellissimo, $6.50. Hulk, they're at $8. Snow Zones, $12. Garrison, $14. Never Second, $14. And Fox Fighter's been $18 into $15. Horse we're going to have a look at here is American President, Walt.
Yeah, so I think this form will work out really good. I think this is the run to a Thelric. So he sort of got forced back up the inside. He had every chance, but I think this form is just superior to anything we see from anyone else. Good old Joey Biden up the fence. I tried to buy him about 8 times before he broke his maiden, but he's on fire now. He's had 11 runs for the prep, so he's been seen more than Joey Biden lately, and he finds just another perfect race. He's right. Like I love trying to find holes in horses that are deep into their preps. This bloke's thriving. You see through the line there. He wasn't stopping. They probably go over another 50. He comes back and beats a Thelric, which puts him in good stead here. I've been told that Randwick's just completely underwater. Like there's no way it wouldn't matter if, we got 40-degree days between now and Saturday. It's going to be pretty rain affected. So coming to the last, this horse is just a roundup specialist, got good speed in the race. The only query is Reece Jones. He's a sort of jockey you can get a 10 out of 10 from or a minus 65. And really, there's not a lot in between. But this horse looks to pretty much ride itself. Like it should be midfield at best and wide, all to the outside. And there's either fast horses or one-paced horses in front of him. And I think he'll round them up. The only horse I'm a little bit scared of, and don't mind being scared of him when they're sort of $18, is Fox Fighter. He finally draws sort of a middle gate and gets a race where he can get back, relax and run on. And I'll be having something on him too at sort of $16. But I think American President's just flummed an absolutely perfect race. As if you can pick holes in all the other chances for them, whether it be inside draws, one paced, or there's just a bit too much speed for them and they're looking for a bit further. So I think it's just a perfect sit and sprint for Joey Biden.
We saw him in his wins prior to that run last start. He's sort of getting to the outside of horses and letting down. Do you think that will be a tick there for him there on Saturday, getting back to the outside of runners from barrier number 8?
Massively. And there's every chance he runs to the outside fence, and hopefully old mate just holds on. But he was very tractable there the other day. I think he's learning all the time. I think he's improving all the time. And he's not quite at the Shelby 66 level of madness that he's going to new heights, but he's just, constantly creeping up his rating. I'm not a big ratings person, but it's just a good sign for a horse that's deep into their prep to be at least holding and increasing their form. And he just seems to be learning. So, I just can't. If Bowman was on, I couldn't see it getting beat.
All right, American President there in race number 10. If you want to catch more of Walt's action, head to Racing Watch and get involved there for some more Randwick tips and sets and that from the like. And I know Scoot's always talking about this Discord chat, so I imagine there's plenty happening in there. So if you want to get involved, head to racingwatch.com.au and get Walt's analysis there. The mug's back. He's got 3 tips for us this week, punters, so tune in.
Hi guys, the mug is back this week after his week off with the flu. With the mug's moral this week, we are back at headquarters at Randwick, still racing on wet tracks in Sydney. But we just got to battle through them and get through them, and we'll get a dry track someday in the future, we wish. So the mug's moral this week is in race 3, number 7, And We Danced. This horse has been unlucky most starts. Last start it jumped at Scone, was a solid in defeat, chasing Andrew Dude's Image, who just kicked and ran home. It looks like it'll be midfield off pace, in a good position. Barrier 1 drops 0.5 kgs. Barrier 1, what else can I say about it? And also the mug likes another 2 things. Randwick race 2, Owen County should be winning. Got in a bad spot last start. Blinkers on. Barrier 3 drops, goes up a kilo. Good barrier, good trainer over this distance with 2-year-olds. Should be winning Owen County. And in the last, the mug likes race 10, number 7, American President. Oh, this thing should have won last start. It went through the narrowest gap. It should have won. The mug was on it at a decent price. Drops 1 kilo from last start. Loves the wet tracks. 4 starts for 4 wins. Loves the distance, loves the track. So, boys, the mug's moral this week is race 3, number 7. And the other 2 things the mug likes is race 2, number 2, and race 10, number 7. Good luck. And what does the mug say when we find a winner? Go find your bookie. Good luck. And we'll be back with Rosehill next week.
In the mid-bet merch.
Mate,
Mate,
can we get someone take his temperature and make sure he's still not got COVID?
I'm going to get more messages about that now. We've
if
created a monster, the mug. 3 tips now, 3 tips.
So there are a few. I do. So And We Dance is one of my favourite horses. I've knocked off probably more money on it in the last 6 months since it got here than most. I thought it looked like a superstar when it came here, but it's got a bit of a P heart, and that track, as it's sort of been well publicised as it was, they put an 8, I think. It was probably somewhere in between. It's going, and it ripped home like sort of fast last 8 and 6 there at Scone. It's Saturday drawn back and inside. It's probably going to be last defence, and you're taking $2.50. I'd be very careful with And We Dance. I'm not saying it can't win. It's probably the horse to beat, but just be careful of it in that race. I think it's a bit more open. I agree with his 2-year-old. I think Owen County's a nice horse. I love the blinkers on 4 weeks. Good stable coming out of the right race. He can run well, and we're getting good odds about it. And I think he's I don't know what he was seeing in the last, and it should have won. It dashed away and sort of went past Thoric, had the best run you've ever seen. And anyway, go the mug.
Self-interest. Should have been you. He was watching it every inch of the way. He knew.
Might be time to take a mugs multi. Maybe Owen County the place into the other 2 that win.
Here we start the mugs multi with the mugs morals. Look out. Oh, all right. Good luck, mug.
If he's going to take multis now, he might have to sharpen up that segment, or he's going to take up the whole show there, the mug. Let's look at the TopSport Big Bets early in the week. This is where the early money is heading to. Race 5, horse number 9, Awapuni Princess, 300 at 14s there. So
the old flashing light early market.
Yep.
Unlucky run punters, they can't help themselves.
It may
just got to jump on straight away.
It
They've
may
been
start.
unlucky last start. As soon as the markets go up, we have to back them.
It may start 14s with her racing pattern. That looks a very deep race. Race 4 and race 5 look impossible there.
She's get back run on. She gets the luck. She's there. That's the boys. Get that boys from New Zealand source.
Yep.
Boys get paid or whatever that syndicate the boys is over.
Race 1, number 8, Lady Patricia. There at Randwick, 200 at 17s. Any thoughts there, Walt?
Yeah, I can't knock it at the price. It's hang on, let me just check. I think it's stable's actually going quite well, selling off quite a few too good. Yeah, second up, so it'll improve off that run. I'm not sure about a heavy track at inside draw for it either, but $13 in a pretty open race. There's a few chances. There's a horse down the bottom there that goes really nicely. May not be at stay. I've been trying, keep an eye on it for the future. Went like a rocket there first up the other day, and again, Reece Jones on the favourite that I was found there last up, Dramatis, and he sort of sat 27 wide, no cover. It'll be hard to beat if he gives it a half decent ride.
And then Eagle Farm, we round out there with the early money. Race number 7, horse number 14, Holyfield, 200 at $16. Turbo was giving that horse a bit of a chance there. So
it's coming out of how they go with that Rocky race, that big $500,000 race, and they had something up at Rocky.
Yeah,
it looked like a one-goer for Apache Chase. The way they sort of it looked like they completely controlled it. I think Dawn Passage sat outside it, and they looked home for your life. And poor old Ashley Butler rode the winner. Emerald Kingdom then got king hit in the toilets that night and hasn't ridden since. But they come home quite quick and ran decent time. But how do you sort of line up? How many top class races would there have been at Rockhampton in the last 1,000 years? So it's I don't think it's a high quality race, and I think that the ratings might come out a bit strong there considering they've run fast time. But what are they comparing it against?
And September Run, the other one there that we mentioned earlier, 200 at 18s. Yep. I think she's tightened in from that quote. So
do you think she'll run 1,300?
Oh, I'd be suspect. I think her best is probably 1,100. Yeah, I think 1,200 probably just sees her out, but she's hitting the line strong in her races, so maybe that's as an older mare, she may be looking for a bit further, but I don't know. I'd be leaning to against, but at $15, and I suppose the 18s, the punter secured there might be something to have a crack at.
And the right camp, right, to be just sort of stretching them that extra 100. They can get it quite often.
Team Waller, our man, he can do anything, Chris. Philsburg was found last week at the double figure odds there for the TopSport Big Bets, so make sure you follow in to get anything. DK?
Yep.
Big day for you today. Couple live ones there. So
yes, I'm betting at Kilmore, and first, I'm not betting now. I watched the first meeting as I have done with the back Ballarat, and it's been significant to watch because there's been some patterns and domination by particularly Jay Allen and Tony McAvoy at the Ballarat one. But I'll just have a look at the Poly tonight, the first meeting, get a handle for it, which I find is better. You've got to get in the mindset of these. They're different. It's all about momentum, and they race completely differently to the turf. So I just find that. But I've got maybe Wodonga and Mildura and something on the weekend. So couple of my joints, so hopefully. And
you had a bit of luck last year on the Poly. I think once you can figure out and learn it and think, this horse is going to get the right one, momentum, good jockeys, I think really come into play on the Polytrack as well.
Yeah, I remember backing a horse like Cardinal Gem there. Got the money for us in a maiden.
Yep.
Grainbeck took him to Pakenham, then he was unlucky, and I backed him we tipped him and backed him at Ballarat, and he got the money. So a nice horse like that. So just to be patient and find them, and as we can see now, the 2-year-olds are all will be well placed in the next 6 weeks in their maidens as well.
How's the coaching going? Deep into the footy season?
Well, yeah, they're improved. We got thrown into top division, so we play Keeler, Mickey McGuan's joint. They're a big club, huge juniors and everything, and our boys did a terrific job. We only got beaten by a goal or something on the weekend. So now we're playing Aberfeldy this week, which is another top side. But just watching the boys improve, mate, I love it. So a good group of young kids. Yep.
Any bowling competitions for you this weekend, Walt?
And I missed last week because of a 4-car pile-up. So I'm keen as to go this week. And my coach went down with COVID on Monday. She's out this week. It's just my preparation's no good. So I might just be up there for a soft run tonight and sort of improve. Again, I've got to find something new to target. But I'm a bit envious of DK. My 7-year-old, if he gets hit by a moth, he goes down. So I'm waiting for the 3-year-old to come through to a sporting age where we can do a bit of contact sport. But Harvey's more of a shadow boxer.
Maybe be a bowler like his dad.
That's it. I think that's it. And funnily enough, Tristan Merlihan, keen bowler.
Ooh, there you go.
Something there. Maybe we have to get like a Tristan v. Walt face-off.
Oh, here we go.
put in the betting banks. You can be Team Tristan,
Can we
Team
bet
Wild.
on the bowling?
Up there at the bowling alley. You may even have to get in your mates there that you voted with the other day. They might be sort of your team.
It's big in this. Do they bet on it in the States, Walt? Do you know? It's big over there.
You can bet on it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's especially now that it's sort of legal in a few states over there, but it's a bit more mainstream. But it is a good betting proposition because a bit of luck goes into it. Plus, there's the like lane conditions and things. It is an interesting sport to get into if you like betting. It's a bit more interesting than darts and things. But we do have the senior darts tournament this week as well. It's all happening. It's all happening in the world, all around the world. We just keep betting.
I'm sure you can find a lot of those markets with TopSport punters. Make sure you tune into Punting Form as well for all your sectionals, and then Manscaped, the other sponsor of the show. Big weekend coming up of sport, so make sure you check out Friday Lines and the last shot, the NBA show. It's starting to really heat up the NBA, so make sure you're tuning into those on YouTube as well. Thanks, DK. Thanks, Walt.
Yeah, I've had all those people complaining that I don't say much. I've absolutely 1,000th my quota today. So
I've played
in the next couple
today.
of weeks when I'm quiet again, please no more emails and things complaining, please.
Mate, 97.83% of them were positive comments too that you've made today. So that's blown your average out of the water as well. You're on fire.
Hopefully you can find a few winners for the DK Wide subs. Thanks for tuning in, punters, and hopefully a few winners over the weekend. Good luck.